What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Oh, yeah. What is going on, Big Shot Bob? Show number 2. It is the shoot-around. Done a bunch of these things. I think this is the 41st one of these we've done. If you ever have an extra question for us, something we left out, you want to talk some shit, whatever you want to do, we're at Big Shot Bob Pod pretty much everywhere. Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, Big Shot Bob Pod at Gmail. Feel free to send us anything. YouTube, we are on the YouTube. You can find, by the way, every single one of these shows, including the shoot-around, in their entirety up on the YouTube. So if you do want to watch us in video, you can always do that, and we got a lot of subscribers on YouTube, so we thank those people for rolling with us.
Harp, I got a question for you.
What it is?
Do you do anything to your beard? Do you put anything in it? You just do? You have like beard
a
product you use? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just put some what is it called? I'll put argan oil.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some what's the other oil called? It's a couple of argan oil, peppermint oil.
I've heard a lot of people use peppermint.
Yeah. The stuff that really promotes growth and shine and healthiness within a beard. Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends, Money. He's a barber, and he developed this beard oil, and it's like he was telling me that it's like a $5 billion industry.
It is
pretty much that hasn't been tapped into.
Beard oil
and beard care.
Wow.
I'm like, damn. I know one of LeBron is every time you do an interview, you got all this stuff in his locker now. I said, that's what we need to do, man. We need to get in that industry and find out even, what's going on with these beards.
Yeah. And it's not even just people who have the beards. It's people who want to grow beards. Because now, use derma rollers to kind of pierce the skin and then use the oil to kind of penetrate into the hair follicles to help them grow. So that's a lot of barbers are getting into it. It's not just cutting hair anymore. It's actually selling products that help with. My barber does the same thing.
That sounds like work. I'm out. I mean, I got this little goatee, and that's about as much as I got because my beard, I used to be able to grow the full beard, but now forget it, man. I get older. I just turned 46 last weekend, so now I'm all patchy. Every time I try to grow in the beard, it's like half white.
Hey, you be looking like Pop in his beard.
Oh man, dude, yeah. Or who's Letterman? Have you seen David Letterman these days? That man's got like birds living in his beard. He's got one of those like unkempt old white man beards that's just like, you figure something's living in there.
Looking like Gandalf.
Yeah, it's like a bird's nest. Like, what do you got going on?
I'll never let my beard get that long.
Yeah. I mean, well, yours is pretty good though. Yours is pretty full and grown in pretty well.
Yeah, my mama hates it.
Does she really?
Well, she doesn't hate it, but she definitely thinks like when it gets this long that it should be cut. And I'm like, Mom, you're the only one to say that.
Yeah, you and James Harden's mama. I'm constantly about their.
James Harden's is disgusting.
Well, if he doesn't keep it up, it gets. I've seen it look good, but I've also seen it where it's like he must just like fall off his routine or something. It just gets like, oh man, it looks ratty sometimes.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. You can market this whole thing to James Harden. Get your products going and up and running.
I'm sure if he was smart, he'll tap into that industry.
I cannot believe that he hasn't done that already.
Name called the Beard.
His name is the Beard. I can't believe he hasn't done this already.
Since we don't have any listeners or viewers that we have, barbers that own beard, oils and things like that, and you want to endorse the podcast, get at us.
Yeah, come on now. You got Robert Ory investing in your product, I think, right?
And Rob Jennings will grow his beard out just to show you how well the product
it'll
works.
Be a mess, dude. It'll be a mess. I'll look like Letterman. It'll just be ratty and white, and be a squirrel living in it. It'll be out of control. We by the way, had opening day for Major League Baseball. I love opening day. I just do. I think everything about opening day is awesome. It's one of those times in sports where I feel like it should be a national holiday. Like, give everyone the day off. And you don't have to do it on a Thursday. Make it like a Friday. Give everybody the freaking day off. Have opening day across all of Major League Baseball. It's like the Monday after the Super Bowl. It's just a no-brainer. give everyone the freaking day off. Make it a national holiday because it's so much fun. Yeah. Even if you don't like baseball, you get a day off. You know what I mean? Like, take it.
I love it.
Official opening day.
The hot dogs there. I love going in, popcorn, hot dogs, Cracker Jack. That's the only time I eat Cracker Jacks when I go to a baseball game.
Dude, I haven't eaten Cracker Jacks. I mean, God, what trash.
I just do it for nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's so nostalgic to eat Cracker Jacks at a baseball game.
Well, the Braves opening day could possibly be postponed till Friday because of weather in Philadelphia. Braves start on the road first.
Well, this is coming out on Friday, so we'll find out.
So it is postponed till today.
It's been postponed. For all we know.
Sorry about dating.
No, you're good. I just think it's one of those, like, I feel like there's certain sports that should just be like, even if you're not a sports fan, cool, congratulations, you get a day off. If not, I mean, watch opening day, hang out, go get a hot dog somewhere. It's just cool, man. I love baseball. I'm just happy baseball's back. We do have a bunch of stuff we did not get to on the Tuesday show, aside from opening day. I did want to start with, as I find my papers here in front of me, how important, Rob, is the city that you play in? Like, how much of that goes into your decision to play somewhere? I'm going to let you think on the question because I'm going to give you the story first. The Brooklyn Nets believe that they should have a star playing in New York because it's New York. This is from the New York Post. Quote, they feel like they can recruit players. 100% that's their belief. They believe that guys want to play in New York. Between talking with agents and players, they have a feeling they can attract big-name players. Yet, Brooklyn has had big-name players, not made the most of them, and let them leave. The Knicks have suffered from this for years. Just because you're in New York doesn't mean everybody wants to come to New York to play. So how much of that goes into your decision, Rob, as a player on where you want to play?
I tinkled with the idea of leaving college early, and Knicks were one of the teams that were like, "Oh, we might draft you," and I was like, "Nah, I'm good," because of the media there. The media at that time was just on you about everything. You couldn't fart and you did this. So for me, and then I thought about, it's like Houston for me was the best place. Just before, it's like I thought about state tax. I thought about it's a southern city, even though it's far from where I'm from, but it's close enough to get there. It's a lot of things that went into my decision, and wanting to be in Houston, wanting to stay in. But deep down, a part of me wanted to be in Atlanta because I just love Atlanta and I'm from that area. Well, not from the area, but 3 hours away. And it just, for me personally, all those things went into where I wanted to go. Don't get me wrong. If I'd have got drafted in Utah, I'd have made the best of it until I had a chance to get up out of there. But I think it has a lot to do with when it comes to comfort. When players are comfortable in certain situations, it's going to make them play better, and they don't have to worry about that outside noise. Because once you leave the world of the NBA, I don't mean retire, but once you step off the court for just for 2 days off, you want to be comfortable. You want your family to be comfortable. You want your wife and your kids to enjoy it, and you want to have that time. So it made a lot, because when I was a free agent and I had the choice to go where I wanted to go, I ain't want to go anywhere but Texas because I want to be close to my family. I mean, when Shaq called me, like, "Yo, come down to Miami," I'm like, "Oh, hell no, I'm not coming down to Miami."
Why not?
For a lot of reasons. Number one, women, distractions. And plus, Pat Riley had a rule where you had to be under like 10% body fat. And I eat. I don't watch my body fat.
I got news for you. Shaq broke that fucking rule 100 times over for Pat Riley over the years. There's no way that he held that rule. No, Miami was a fun, and look, I was down there for 10 years. It's fun, and there's a lot of things you can do in South Florida that aren't partying. I think Miami just has this reputation for this tiny little stretch of land that is South Beach. And if you go out there, you can get some trouble.
Yeah, but I
you gotta stay away from the trouble spots, man.
I lived in Marina Del Rey when I was playing with the Lakers and never once touched the beach. Never. So the beach is not my
I used to live a mile from the beach. We never went to the beach. Never went to the beach. FAU is a mile from the beach. Was there for 4 years. I went to the beach a handful of times. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just curious because I'm surprised that more people haven't taken up the whole I'm going to be the hero of New York idea. And I think that there was that time where Durant, James, and Kyrie thought, we're going to put this thing together in Brooklyn. We're going to bring a title to New York. The media is going to love us. And that just fell apart hard and fast on those guys, man.
That's sort of like the Lakers and the Clippers. You know, as much as they want to win, it's just always going to be the Lakers. As much as Brooklyn want to win, it's always going to be the Knicks.
It's going to be the Knicks.
You know,
the Knicks haven't, I mean, now the Knicks are good this year, but they haven't. The Knicks have had so much turmoil over the years. In years they were good, went to the finals, and then you stomped on their hopes and dreams, So it's.
But I know you guys can, and this is one of the things that I don't understand. There's so many NBA players, or there used to be, that live in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah,
but it seems like nobody wants to play for Atlanta. Is it the ownership? Is it management? Or what is the deal? Is it arena? Huh?
They don't want to spend no money. Oh. Yeah, to bring players in, you got to want to spend some money. Now, I'm not saying they haven't, but obviously the names that you're talking about, you got to spend some money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then, we all know the price tag in the NBA has gone up and up and up, too. So not only do you have to spend money, you have to spend a lot of it. And prior to Tony Ressler, I mean, there's been a lot of change in management of the Hawks, but for years it was owned by a company called the Atlanta Spirit Group, and they were notorious for not wanting to spend money. So they just, there's never been an opportunity for them to want to spend up to get guys here. But you're right. You'd think that Atlanta would be a place that people would want to come play. They're here, they're in the city. It's a fun, exciting place to live, but I don't know, they've never been able to put that really, really together. Not in any kind of big way, at least.
I don't know what it is. Like you said, a lot of them have houses here. They like to come to the city. But I think between management, ownership, and the ability to spend money, hey.
Yeah, it just hasn't come together. Just hasn't. All right, we have a question from Steve. Please tell me you heard Mike Greenberg saying UConn could make the Eastern Conference play-in. I'm so tired of this narrative about college teams being able to take on pro teams in any sport. It's like when people used to say that Alabama could beat the Cleveland Browns. It's just dumb. I went and I found the audio. Here's Greenberg. I guess this is from Get Up or whatever the hell that show is called on ESPN, saying that UConn could play in the Eastern Conference play-in.
If they were in the NBA's Eastern Conference, would they make the playoffs? I think I'm looking at teams that are 8 games under 500 in the play-in right now. They're better than.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, Greeny. I'm not doing that. No.
UConn's an NBA team.
No, they're not.
Jay Will.
They're not. They execute like one, but their talent level, I would not say, would be able to make the play-in.
So he's frustrated, and he says, Rob, has there ever been a college team in any sport that you think could be a legit contender against the pro team?
No.
I think there's this idea that UConn or Alabama or any of these types of teams look exceptional against other college programs.
Yeah.
But that's
you gotta
the
understand.
difference.
It's when people don't understand, when you step into the pro level, you look at teams where you go down the bench where guys might even get no burn. I guarantee you take those 5 guys that don't get no burn, that get the least amount of burn, and put them up against UConn, they'll beat the brakes off them. Because there's experience, there's talent, and there's just overall just the grit. I don't think there's a reason these guys are in the NBA. People, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves when you see an NBA guy and he plays and you're like, oh, he's a bum. He's a bum. I guarantee if you play him one-on-one, he would show you who the real bum is. And I just don't understand when these guys who probably has he ever played any sports in his life, Greeny?
Greeny? Oh, I don't think so. No, probably not.
Probably not. So if you've never played a sport in your life, shut the hell up. Because you don't understand how good pros are. There's a reason they're in the pros. And I don't know anything about this UConn team. I heard I watched them play like twice. And that means that starting 5 will all have to be in the NBA. And do you think that whole starting 5 is going to be in the NBA one day? No. I don't think so. Because a couple of them are really damn good, but I don't think they'll be on the roster.
Isn't the percentage of players that go on from college to pro sports, I think at any level, is like 2% or something?
And it's
really super low. Whatever the number is, it's really low.
And the thing about people forget about basketball, it ain't like when I was coming along. half the fucking draft next year going to be foreign kids you've never even fucking heard of.
That's true. Yeah,
think about it.
When did we ever talk about Victor Wembanyama before this year? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
The top 5 players in the NBA are all foreign. You know, and
you're right. Luka, Jokic, Wembanyama, yeah.
You don't even think about this, so.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Happens a lot, though. Holy shit, that's a common narrative. And guys like this who are on national television.
And they do that. That's nothing but clickbait and headline type of stuff, and we've seen it before.
Ain't something to talk about.
But it's very disrespectful.
But
it's very disrespectful because you're looking at it from the standpoint of competing against.
I feel like they were showing me a clip. I forget some reporter.
Who you talking about?
There was some reporter that was showing his jump shot and how ugly it was. It's like, are you serious? You have the nerve to talk about basketball players and your jump shot looks like this?
Yeah.
It was awful. When he finished shooting, his hand was like this, like sideways.
Yeah,
it
man.
was awful. Shot like 18 air balls in a row.
Bad, terrible. But
they're not speaking from experience. They're talking out of their ass. And my problem with it always continues to be, don't make a stupid point just for clickbait because it makes you look like an idiot. Like, no one is going to respect Mike Greenberg for making that point on freaking ESPN. They're going to crap on him for it. And if your goal is to get attention and let people crap on you, no, just ignore me then. I'd rather at least make a valid point and not be heard from, which is like what most we do on this show. All right, so let's go to the other piece of audio from ESPN this week, and it was Kendrick Perkins. I'm going to let the audio speak for itself with Perk here. You guys tell me what you think.
Which point guard would you take over Jalen Brunson right now?
I wouldn't take one. Nobody.
Really?
And there's no disrespect to Steph Curry. There's no disrespect to SGA. But I'm not taking anybody over Jalen Brunson.
So Perk's rolling with Jalen Brunson this year. There's no other point guard in the league he wants more than Jalen Brunson.
I'd take Luka. I'd take Steph. I'd take SGA. You know, I see what he's saying.
Brunson?
Don't get me wrong. Brunson is playing really good right now. But if I had to take a point guard right now, I even take Kyrie before I take Brunson. You know, Brunson is, and that's no disrespect to Brunson. I just think, you know, I look at players that make the players around them better. And I think these players, I think Kyrie, I think Luka is a little bit better than Brunson and making the players around him better.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No, there's some guys. Yeah, there's some guys I'd take over Brunson.
I wouldn't take SGA over Brunson. I wouldn't do that.
Really?
Mm-mm. I like Brunson better than I like SGA. And that's just my opinion. Don't get me wrong. SGA is
no. This is all opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and we're talking about right now?
Right now.
Right now. You're giving Jalen Brunson. Is there anybody else in the league you'd rather have?
I guess you could say Luka. I'm in a back and forth between Brunson and SGA.
You know, don't get me wrong. I might take Murray before I take Brunson.
No.
Isn't DeJounte?
No, Denver.
Oh, Denver.
Yeah. Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Jamal
he hurt?
Murray.
Did he get hurt?
Is Jamal hurt?
Tweak his knee or something?
No, I still take him. He's pretty damn good.
Oh, no, he's great.
Even though he's never been an all-star, which is
here's the thing. If
disrespectful as hell.
If you're playing the right now game, right now, Jalen Brunson looks like Superman a lot of nights.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're playing the bigger picture, we haven't had a lot of this, not at this level at least, in the last few years from Jalen Brunson. He's been a great player, but he hasn't played the way he's been playing the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? He's been playing off the charts, man. He's been out of his mind.
He's like Jeremy Lin was after that 2 week stretch.
Right, but to me, even if you say that, okay, so I would take him right now still equals where does that land you in the playoffs? Where does that land you beyond the playoffs? Like, there has to be more to it than what's happening in the moment. And Jalen Brunson in the moment right now, exceptional. Playing out of his mind. I'm happy for him. He looks great. What does that mean in 2 weeks? What does that mean come playoff time? You know, are you going to elevate the Knicks enough to get them over the hump? And
only time will tell.
Yeah.
You know, only time will tell. The fact that he has the Knicks in the situation that they're in right now says a lot, because the Knicks have not been in this type of situation in a very, very long time.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with Josh Hart. You know, people always look at, you know, oh, he's scoring on the point, but who's locking people up? Who's doing all the dirty shit? Who's playing 48 minutes a game? So, you know, it's not the sexy part of the game that nobody's looking at, but Josh Hart
playing a lot of minutes, dude.
He is playing
a lot of minutes.
He's had triple dubs. He's been carrying that team. So, yeah. So,
good point.
He's doing the things in order to make Jalen Brunson shine.
I like it. No one's happier today, by the way, than Michael Jordan. Marcus and Larsa are officially over. It's over. The national love story has come to an end. Has there ever been a celebrity breakout that bummed you out? Like where you saw celebrities and go, oh man, that kind of, thought they were.
No.
Never?
No.
Okay. All right.
Like you said celebrity breakup?
Yeah, like a couple that splits up, like they were married or they were together, and you were just like, oh, I thought those kids were going to make it.
Nah, I don't care enough.
Oh, okay.
No.
Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet for me. I was like, oh, come on. They were like perfect for each other. Like, I mean, beautiful daughter, like-minded people, cool style. I thought that was awesome. And then it's like that when they fell apart. I was like, oh, that kind of bummed me out.
You try to think about, you know, people that have broken up. I'm like, there's nobody. There's a couple of you sitting back hoping like, yeah, break up, and then, hey, pick me.
Oh, you want to be a pick me. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, Rob's a pick me girl. I like it. Okay. Rob's a pick me girl. We have a question from Chris. Paul Pierce said this week on Undisputed that Steph's influence on the game has been greater than LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe because of the way that he changed the way the league plays. What do you guys think? I don't think anyone ever trumps Jordan's impact.
I don't think anybody ever trumps Kareem's impact. You know, because you think they changed the fucking rules for Kareem. I know they say they changed the rules for Jordan and stuff, but it's just so many things that Kareem did for the game. I think when people look at Steph, they look at the threes, but that was just him. It was the Splash Brothers.
Right.
That had a lot to do with Klay too, because Klay was up there knocking down threes. Steph was just doing it, you know, at a little bit bigger clip. But I think the game was transitioning that way. Even when the NBA moved the 3-point line in to try to get more threes into the game, it just was moving that way. And so I think Steph and Splash Brothers had hurt the game more than they had helped the game. That might be a part.
Well, it wasn't hurt or helped. It was influenced.
Yeah, I say that's what I'm saying. That's one of the influences too, because you got mugs shooting threes now that shouldn't be shooting threes.
And I think that was Paul's point. I think everybody plays outside in now, just for that reason alone.
That's just the way the game was trending as a whole.
Okay.
I think it's. I don't want to say more. I think they're all different. Like the way, because you're looking at how games from those times were different, and the different areas in which those guys impacted the game. Like we know Mike. I mean, Mike's influence is still felt today, just from the standpoint of so many other areas of marketing and things of that nature. You know, with Kobe, you know, people say, you know, the second coming of Mike. You know, growing up, people used to shoot, you know, paper balls into the trash can and yell Kobe every time. You know what I'm saying? And
then when it bricked off the back, they went, oh, Shaq.
And so now, with Steph, it's like you got little kids all around wanting to shoot the three. Now you can say that's a detriment to the game. Cool. But we're not arguing whether it's a detriment or not. We're arguing
just an influence.
Impact.
Yeah.
And the influence. It is what it is. Like you said, the game was trending towards that level, but he put a booster in that thing, and it just took off.
I don't think it was just him though. It was the Splash Brothers, because you think about it, if he didn't have Klay knocking down. You think about it, Klay was knocking down just as many threes as he was, so it wasn't just. You think about it, for a long time, it was the Splash.
Yeah, it was
Brothers.
Always the two of them. That was sort of the story. Was the combo? Yeah. And
then as Klay got hurt and Steph kept going on the rise, and he got MVP, it became Steph. But it was by that time when it was the Splash Brother, every team in the NBA was trying to shoot threes to win a championship.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was just Steph alone.
Honestly, I like your point I think it was from last week's show when we talked about Shaquille, and you were like, people had to change their rosters for Shaquille O'Neal. I think that's influence on the game. Like you had GMs and team owners that had to go, how do we account for him? Like, I don't care about anybody else on the floor. Who's going to take that guy out every game? Can we put somebody on the roster that just got 6 fouls to hand out? Just a big sumbitch that could hit him? Because otherwise, like, to me, that's influence on the game.
Yeah,
and
that's a huge.
There was a huge surge behind your draft class with Shaq coming in at the lead with just big, talented guys that could do a lot. But Shaquille really kind of, I think, shifted the way teams had to approach their game. And then they looked at the way that the Magic and in turn the Lakers would play with around that big guy in the middle and went, we got to fall back to this. Like anything we've been drifting off into this 3-point game, we got to come back to this big man in the middle.
I guarantee if you get someone like a Shaq again that comes in, and he just
I think you kind of have it in Jokic a little.
Yeah.
He plays a little bit of bully ball. He's dominant, he's strong, he pushes people around.
So true. And nobody wants to match that energy or that effort. So and that's why he beats you up and wins.
And I think the difference too is if people are gonna get the better of Denver and have him stop winning MVPs, they're gonna have to put some people up in the middle that are gonna be able to match against him. And there's only a handful of guys, a small handful of guys, that you could say legitimately could probably go one-on-one with him and close him down or slow him down at least. But Jokic likes to pass that basketball too, so you got some facets to him. But all right, last question.
Just imagine if Shaq was still in the league. People like Dwight would still have a job. DeMarcus Cousins still have a job. What's that guy started with an H that went from Miami that was the big tall dude?
Talking about Haslam?
Haslam will have a job. Think about it. There were a lot of guys that would have jobs just because they would say, we put him in case we had to run up against Shaq.
Yeah, we got to run somebody out there to hit them. All right, last question came from Dean on Twitter. Thank you, Dean. Excluding all stats and accolades and going off of straight basketball grit and skill. Start, bench, cut. Pat Bev, Bobby Portis, Draymond Green.
Start Draymond. That's the easiest one out of the bunch.
I think so too. And
since Bobby Portis and Draymond pretty much the same, I will have to cut Bobby and keep Pat Bev. That's the only reason. If we play in Boston, I will cut Pat Bev and keep Bobby Portis because you need the size. But Draymond out of that group is one of the guys that the way he impacts the game offensively and defensively. And also, you just need someone to play with some force and that it factor where if you got to punch someone in the mouth. I know Pat Bev and Bobby Portis would do that too.
Oh, sure they would. Yeah, but
Draymond is more of an intimidator than those two, I think. I love both of the other guys, but Draymond is my starter out of that group.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Only thing with Bobby Portis is he's a better shooter than Beverly. And I think you see this resurgence with Bobby Portis in
he been killing
Milwaukee. Yeah. It's a back and forth, but I can see. I like Pat Bev. I can see myself keeping Bobby Portis and cutting Pat Bev, just for the simple fact that I can get that same level of, grit in a sense with Bobby Portis, and he's a slightly better shooter.
This is one of these things like, is this team in the East or the West? If it's in the West,
that's another good point, yeah.
I'm keeping Pat Bev.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
If it's in the East, I'm keeping Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis, yeah. Honestly, I'm with you 100%. I think you start Draymond Green. I want Pat Bev on the bench just to talk shit. just talk shit from the bench, man. That's all I need you for.